Good evening, everyone. I'm Justin Betty.
And I'm Stacy Van Dyke. Firefighters in South Fargo found a dead body in an apartment tonight while fighting a fire.
You happen at Park Place Apartments on 32nd Avenue South in South Fargo, right across from the Jiffy Lube. Several neighbors tell us all of a sudden they just smelled smoke and they evacuated. Firefighters say as they worked to put out the fire, they found a person dead in one of the units. The name of that victim is not yet being released, and we don't know how they died. The Fargo Police Department is now investigating as firefighters continue to work to determine what caused that blaze.
New tonight, a man was taken to the hospital after a crash at 52nd Avenue South and 45th Street South in Fargo. Officers on the scene tell us the pickup was struck by the car at the intersection. They described the pickup driver's injuries as non-life threatening despite massive damage to the vehicle, and they say the driver of the car wasn't hurt. However, traffic was slowed for more than an hour as crews worked to get the pickup onto a truck.
In Grand Forks tonight, there was a crash involving a Grand Forks PD patrol car. Happened around 8 as the officer was responding to an emergency situation. Officers tell us 2 people and the officer were all transported to Altru Hospital with unknown injuries. Meanwhile, 2 people are hurt, 1 man cited after a crash near Northwood this evening. Highway Patrol says 64-year-old Wade Bilden of Northwood was driving west on Highway 15, getting ready to turn when he was hit from behind by a pickup driven by 41-year-old Joshua Walter of Annetta. Both men were transported by ambulance to the hospital. Walter has been cited for care required.
Hutch joins us now with a first look at your forecast. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much. We continue to watch our area rivers as some are still rising, others are on their way down, and this is a photo sent in today. And thanks to all of you who have shared these. Take a look at this. You saw the pizza shop story we've been doing on the Mayville areas. Rivers there have been, rising, and now they are steady to slowly falling. Ashley, thanks for your photo. Here's a look at that latest river level and the Grand Forks area. The Red River rising up on the dike out there. Here, flood alert. Here's the headlines. Number 1, moderate to major flooding will continue all week, but we have rain in the forecast Friday through Sunday. It could be heavy rain for some of us, and another crest could be possible for some areas, not all areas, and it really depends on where the heavy rain falls and how heavy it is. But keep this in mind. If we have a wide area with 2 or more inches of rain, that's not going to be good for river levels. Take a look at Oslo, for instance. As we go through the next weekend when we're getting more rain, it's already going to be at major flood stage. Look how fast things rose in that area with the onset of the last rain. And take a look at this. Crookston, great news here. A nice downward trend is expected, and then the next rain system makes its way in. Will you see another crest? How high will it be? That's what it might look like. That's called a double crest, and certainly could happen for some of us. Here's a look at where we're expecting the best chance for this substantial rainfall of 1 inch to 2+ inches of rain. Devil's Lake Basin into the Northern Valley. This could change. We'll keep you updated. I'll go through hour-by-hour forecast details on all of this in just a minute. So for now, we get to enjoy the quiet.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
Continuing our coverage of the Valley's flood fight tonight. Floodwaters have forced a major road that runs the small town of Minto to close. A portion of U.S. Highway 81 now submerged in water. Traffic can't get through. The owners of local businesses like the Harvey Avenue Saloon say it's having a major impact on their business.
We get a lot of truckers that stop here for food and stuff, and when 81 is closed, there's hardly any traffic on this road at all. They bypass Minto, and it's very tough on a business, any business in Minto.
The National Weather Service says flood levels in Minto have crested above 8.5 feet. They're now down to about 7.5, which is in the minor flooding territory. Beltrami County Sheriff's officials say Bemidji is now under a flood emergency as their city hall has been affected by flooding. The announcement makes it easier to get federal funding and help. Across the region, many people have been working to protect homes and businesses from flooding. Experts say it's important to take proactive measures before flooding is ever a danger, like getting flood insurance. Adding, if you're affected and aren't already covered, it's probably too late.
The important thing is to assess your potential need early and make sure that you have that in effect, well before the thaw starts.
And if you're not covered but were impacted by the flooding, you may qualify for disaster assistance through the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, or the Small Business Administration. The American Red Cross and Catholic Churches of North Dakota also can provide emergency relief.
New developments in an aircraft crash we told you about last summer. The newly released accident report blames pilot error for the crash involving an unmanned aircraft near Grand Forks. It took off from an Air Force base and was being piloted remotely. The aircraft, valued at $64 million, was destroyed. We have the link to that full accident investigation report on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on the story. Breaking news tonight. Police say a juvenile suspect is in custody tonight in connection to the death of 10-year-old Lilly Peters in western Wisconsin. The Chippewa Falls police chief says the victim knew the suspect. Peters' body was found yesterday morning in a wooded area near a walking trail. Her father called police Sunday evening after she failed to return home from a visit to her aunt's house, which she'd biked to just blocks away.
Law enforcement has been working on this case 24 hours a day since this call came in less than 48 hours ago. First of all, I want to thank the community for the over 200 tips that we have received. These tips were critical to solving this case.
Police say they no longer believe there's a threat to the community. They had previously asked that children who usually walk to or from school instead be dropped off and picked up by family until further notice.
Several airports across the country have come up with a discreet way for some people to let them know they may need a little extra help. The Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program offers these bright green floral lanyards and name tags for those with invisible disabilities, including sensory loss or autism, as a way to signal that the person wearing it may need a little extra support down the line.
I'm hopeful that when somebody out in the public sees another individual with this lanyard on, that they would feel comfortable enough to approach them and say, "How can I help you?"
The lanyards have not made their way to the Red River Valley just yet, but Mulder says she hopes local airports and retailers do participate, saying she and several of her family and friends plan to put their own orders in soon.
Also new for you tonight, a local organization is asking for help finding a stolen van that they use to provide transportation services for seniors in the community.
Valley News Team's Shay Taylor has more on how being down just one van could have a much bigger impact on the organization.
Valley Senior Services is now without one of their vans that they use to help older adults get around the community.
So it's a sad thing for our agency. It's sad for the people that we serve.
They say it was stolen early Monday morning outside one of their drivers' home. The driver was only there for less than 5 minutes, but the keys were left inside the vehicle and someone managed to get away with it.
It's a very significant service. You know, it helps people to continue to stay active in the community, helps them to stay vibrant and a part of the community. And
Executive Director Brian Arrett says that the organization provides more than 150 rides a day throughout Fargo, Moorhead, and Dilworth. And the transportation services it provides helps address all kinds of needs for seniors.
rides for medical appointments, people that want to come to senior centers to have meals, people that want to go grocery shopping or want to get their hair done or visit friends.
He says they typically have 12 vans they use regularly, but being down one is already making it challenging to keep up with the high demand.
And losing this vehicle right now is kind of, extra critical. We're going to limp along with the spare vehicle, but it really affects our ability.
Now he just hopes the culprit will have a heart and return it.
If you made a mistake, took something, realized that you maybe shouldn't have, leave it in a parking lot, leave it at the police department, leave it somewhere.
In Fargo, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
And that vehicle they're looking for is a gray Dodge Caravan. It has the words Metro Transportation Services, the number 4 on it. If you've seen it, you're asked to please contact police. Still ahead tonight, a story you won't want to miss involving a teacher in the right place, the right time, and how she's helping a Minnesota teen battling a rare disease.
And today we continue to see folks battling the rising waters, and those rising waters heading all the way up to the Pembina Bridge area right now, where volunteers from, the local schools helping out as well. Quiet weather today, albeit cold. We'll have your details on a quiet forecast tomorrow, and then unsettled weather for the weekend next.